towards world sustainability, achieving the sustainable goals, 17 sustainable goals of UNESCO. On that note, Educate Global developed this novel initiative of G20 International Youth Cabinet. What is this International Youth Cabinet is all about? It's about for the youth, built by the youth, and it is going back to the youth. What goes around comes around. So it has been generated from the youth and it is going back to the youth. And that's what this whole system is working. That's how we have been working for all these 8 weeks now. And today's very successful 8th week. As IGEN engineers and IGEN Global, who have contributed with immense speakers, eminent speakers, week after week, every time, and IIU for extending the background support as such. So on that note, we extend a warm welcome to you all. Moving ahead to G20 Youth Cabinet's mission and what is the whole objective is about, and why are we here gathering every Sunday? What are we going to do? To cohort channels, to open its doors to young individuals, to the youth like you from diverse background worldwide. So this platform invites vibrant youth, committed youth as participants to present their insights with due respect and inferences with due gratitude, which are contributing towards the UNESCO's sustainable goals. So this initiative aimed to address the following agenda that is made by the youth. We have not made this agenda. The youth has made the agenda. As far as these are the things that they would contribute on this platform of G20 Youth Cabinet, which will shape up, which has been shaping up our programs outcomes. So thus goes our preamble that it's a plan of action for the people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. So end of the day, whatever we talk on this platform, it's not just talking and then moving ahead, it's just walk the talk. Whatever they have done in their life, whatever they have been contributing from their point of view, from their possibilities, they are here to share with us, and this is just a sharing platform. So we seek to strengthen the universal peace in the larger freedom, and we recognize eradicating poverty as in all its form and dimensions, that as our prime objective. And it's, as we know, this is the greatest global challenge and indispensable requirement for any sustainable development that we're talking about. So we welcome all countries and stakeholders to act in collaborative partnership who will implement this plan for us, along with us. So we resolve to free this human race from the tyranny of poverty and want to heal and secure our planet. And thus, we are determined to take this bold transformative steps to bring in the paradigm shift onto your sustainable and resilient path. On that note, we have come up with the G20 vision, which focus around the 5 P's, that is people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership, that we are visioned, that we have kept as a G20 cabinet vision, such that people will end poverty and hunger in all its form to ensure dignity and quality, prosperity to ensure prosperous and fulfilling lives in harmony with the nature, peace to foster peace just for all inclusive societies, partnership implementing the agenda through the solid global partnership. And moving ahead, if you're going to do so, talking about partnership, what is required? We need to have policies. For that, we have requested the youth members to come and contribute for policy reformations which are requested, and also for the protection of the society with the principles involved and duly adhering to the local principles of the local community, bringing in the best practices such that it goes back to the people. Thus, we have summed up our vision and mission such that we take it forward to the community. So week after week, we have been talking about different topics starting from Education 360, women empowerment with Sakti Spectrum, and youth empowerment with Yoga Yuva, and moving ahead with digital and innovation, and making use of the best resources with artery dialogue. And last but not the least, also we are talking about the finance. This is the third week that we are talking about the finance. So congratulations to our team who have been consistently providing us all kind of support in talking about the finance. So as we all know, when we talk about finance, for the first time ever, the International Tax and Finance came into being when OECD and G20 countries worked together to develop the G20 BEPS package. What is this BEPS about? That will be the first question which comes to everybody's mind. We all know that it's base erosion and profit shifting. So that's the package. Why did they evolve this package? What they want to achieve with this package is that to equip governments with domestic and international instruments needed to tackle the tax avoidance. So tax is not something which has come only with G20 or with the inception of G20, OECD, or with the inception of sustainable development, nothing like that. Tax has been with us in the past, and it has been in the present, and it is going to be there in the future also. So this is something like we need to really travel along. So to know more about this particular word tax, because it differs from country to country. As it has traveled through the ages, from the history to the past, present, to the future, it's going to travel. So with this travel timeline, the tax has evolved into different shapes, into different dimensions in the local communities in the respective countries. So at the request office to normalize the whole function, to standardize the whole function, at the request of all G20 leaders, in 2015, the OECD established the G20 inclusive framework on BEPS, that is inclusive framework on base erosion and profit shifting, now covering about 140 members representing the wide diversity of economic profiles, including significant number of developing countries. And all the members participate in equal footing, and they are committed to implementing these BEPS measures to undertake the peer reviews concerning the BEPS minimum standards to finalize the remaining standard setting work. So when we talk about the minimum standards, what are the things that we are talking about? So our presidency, that's how we have now opened this forum to the youth ministers like you. We have pride in calling you all youth ministers, definitely. So we have opened this forum for our youth ministers who are here to contribute today on international tax, trade and investments leading to exports and imports, with this presidency as reform, reshape, restructure, and reconstitute the international, national, and international architecture, tax architecture. So our deliberations for the discussion are going to be tax in the environment, tax certainty in the process of carbon pricing, again, BIPS, base erosion, profit shifting, global forum on transparency and exchange of information for tax purposes, addressing the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of the economy, and last but not the least, the green finance, which is within quotation, which is a key thing for taking forward for any kind of sustainable solutions that we're talking about. So when we talk about tax, to go in, these tax policies play a significant role in influencing the environmental behavior and the outcomes. So some of the intersect with the environmental concerns are carbon tax, pollution taxes, subsidies for the renewable energy, that thereby it is more related to the not only the sustainable finance but also the sustainable environment, with the tax incentives for the energy efficiency, land use of taxes, resource extraction taxes, waste management, etc. So all these tax policies are very powerful tools in addressing the environmental challenges as well, not only about the sustainable finance, internalizing externalities. That means what all external factors which are there, we are making it more inclusive, internalizing it with the local communities, thereby promoting sustainable policies, practices, and for incenting the investments in a cleaner technology and the behaviors, thus designing these effective environmental tax measures and the policies requires careful consideration of all economic, social, and political factors to ensure that we achieve the intended objectives while minimizing the unintended consequences. On that note, we open the forum to our brilliant speakers for today, and thereby I welcome Dr. Kavita to welcome our panel of speakers, if possible, and also our panel of experts. And also, ma'am, you're free to talk about IGEN. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. First, very good evening to all present here. Welcome to G20 International Youth Cabinet, where we embark on a journey shaped by the energy, vision, and passion of our dynamic youth. This gathering, aptly titled G20 International Youth Cabinet, symbolizes a platform designed for and by the youth, reflecting our commitment to fostering a future led by the aspirations of the vibrant generation. Now, let me take a moment to acknowledge and welcome our panel members. Um, Welcome to the panel of experts from IGEN, Dr. Tanuja uh, from IGEN, and Dr. Engineer Sai Prasanna, and also Dr. Adibesi from GSFN, and also coordinators Jessica and Royce. I wish to welcome all the speakers of today. And regarding this IGEN, so we are very happy to inform that our IGEN is doing a lot of things. Just we are having an innovation consortium where nearly 50 students from all over Tamil Nadu, downtrodden areas also, they are there in our group. And we are main objective of our Young Green Innovators Army, that is YGIN Army. We are planning, we are training them to make them to inculcate their knowledge in the new innovative ideas. And finally, the objective of our army is to make the patent of their innovative ideas. So for that, we are giving training to them, and we hope nearly this process is for 1 year. At the end of the year, we'll have nearly 9 patents. And really happy to inform that already we have patented for completed 4 patents, filed 4 patents, and it is to be published for the first group of Angry Innovators Army, 9A. It's the first group. This is our second group. So this is now we are in process, and really I hope we will come out with success. Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita. So moving ahead, Ms. Kripashri, we would invite Ms. Kripashri to welcome the speakers and introduce the speakers and take
Yes. Thank you. So I hope my audio is clear.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Srividya, and thank you so much, Dr. Kavita, for your wonderful words. So, embrace the future, unveiling a symphony of sustainability, youth empowerment, and education. So, once again, I welcome you all to the G20 International Youth Cabinet, a weekly rendezvous that transcends boundaries, ignites minds, and shapes a brighter tomorrow. So, here we have speakers to talk about various topics. So our first speaker is Jana S., who is a student of BEEEE, a student chairman of Amit University. He is a partner representation of IGEN. He's going to talk about tax and the environment. I hope he's there in the session.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Jana. You can share your screen and start your presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jana from Amit University, India. Today I'm going to talk about tax and environment. Now, is my screen visible?
Your screen is visible, but your
Yes.
file, you need to pick it up. No, you can go down. You can pick the PowerPoint here. You have the PowerPoint, right? Not Zoom. You're picking up Zoom again. Yes.
No, you're picking Zoom, right?
No, it's not Zoom. Is it a PowerPoint? Or it's a document?
He's directly taking from his WhatsApp.
Your document is already opened here, dear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slideshow. Jana, make it slideshow.
Yes, miss. What's this time, ma'am?
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfect. Please go ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jana.
Taxation policies.
Yes, Jana,
Jana,
you can proceed.
no. Actually,
Jana?
his network is his bandwidth is very low, ma'am. Either
So
he
Yeah,
can,
I started doubting myself whether my net
you
is
can
low.
switch off your video, Jana, so that
yeah,
your bandwidth may. Switch off your video, then
we'll
press
come back
it.
to Mr. Jana, I think. Mr. Jana,
Will
Can
he
we
can,
go with the speaker?
no, yeah. Mr. Jana,
Taxation policies can
we'll come back to you again. Is it okay? So you can share your presentation to one of the IGEN members or otherwise in the chat box. We will present it for you. Okay? Yes.
Okay.
So we will stop sharing your screen now. Ms. Kripashni, you can invite the next speaker by the time we are ready.
Sure.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, that's good. So let's go with the next session talk from Mr. Hariharan. He's a
Yeah.
student of Sri Sairam Engineering College. He is a partner representation of IGEN, and he is going to discuss about the topic as tax certainty and progress with carbon pricing. Mr. Hariharan, you're good to go. You can share your screen, and then you can proceed with your presentation.
Miss.
Yes.
So, good evening to all. I am delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you today. First, I introduce myself. I am M. Hari, studying BTech Info Technology in Sri Sairam Engineering College. So, I am going to share my insights about tax certainty and progress with carbon pricing.
Switch on to slideshow mode if you can.
Yes, ma'am. So, these are the topics I am going to share now. So, first, global warming. It refers to in the so this is extremely harmful to the earth as well as humans. So the excessive use of automobiles and fossil fuels, it results in the increased level of the carbon dioxide, which leads to the climatic changes. So climate change, Earth. This happens due to many internally the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation in the environment. So these gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, they trap heat and cause the Earth's temperature to rise. So the climate change has become a global concern over the last few decades. Besides these climate changes, it affects the life on Earth in various ways. So tax certainty and carbon pricing, they are the two interconnected concepts for addressing the climate change focus to low tax certainty. The of the tax environment for businesses and individuals and so with certainty government not pay or
Hariharan, sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry.
then carbon pricing is a policy aimed at greenhouse carbon dioxide.
Hariharan, your internet is unstable. You can switch off your video and then present. So let.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, his
Yes, ma'am.
slides are not
Ma'am,
moving.
is my screen
The
visible,
first slide.
No, screen is not full. Now it is
Yes, ma'am.
moving
Can I start from first, ma'am?
because of your network problem.
Yes, ma'am. Can I start it from beginning, ma'am?
Yeah, you can start from the beginning, but first you need to go to slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Slideshow from the beginning.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is showing slideshow, ma'am.
Fifth tab.
Yes, ma'am. It is in slideshow mode, ma'am.
No, it is not in the slideshow, Hariharan. So you can.
Hari, please once stop your presentation, go back, fix it in the slideshow mode, and then share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. I will share one second, ma'am.
No issues.
Ma'am, I can't share the screen, ma'am.
Why?
It is not showing.
Hari, please try
I
again.
can't
Stop
share
sharing your
the
screen.
entire.
Switch off your cam. Switch off your cam.
No, it's,
Okay, go.
it is
Stop
very
sharing the screen. Go open your presentation and switch to slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am. It is. Is it now visible, ma'am?
It is now visible. Yes. Now it's in slideshow
Yes,
mode.
ma'am.
Kindly
So
close the video and continue the presentation.
yes, ma'am. Good morning to all. I am delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you today. So first, I introduce myself. I am M. Studying information technology in Sri Sairam Engineering College. So I'm going to share my insights about tax certainty and progress with carbon pricing. So the what is global warming? It refers to the gradual rise in the overall temperature of the atmosphere of Earth. So this is extremely harmful to the Earth as well as humans. So the excessive use of automobiles and fossil fuels results in the increased level of carbon dioxide, leads to climate changes. Climate change, it refers to the change in the environmental condition of the Earth. This happens due to many internal and external factors like human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. They are leading to rising level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So these gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, they trap heat and cause the Earth's temperature to rise. The climate change, it has become a global concern over the last few decades. Besides these climatic changes, it affects life on the Earth in various ways. So the tax certainty and carbon pricing, they are the two interconnected concepts for addressing the climate change and focus to the low carbon economy. What is tax certainty? It refers to the predictability and stability of tax environment for businesses, individuals, and governments. So, without tax certainty, neither government nor taxpayers can effectively budget or plan for their future actions. Carbon pricing, it is a policy tool aimed at reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, particularly carbon dioxide emissions, by putting a price on the carbon emissions. So, carbon tax, it is a fee imposed on the burning of carbon-based fuels like coal, oil, gas, etc. Carbon pricing, it can take various forms, but the two most common approaches are carbon tax and cap and trade systems, which is also called emissions trading system. Carbon tax, it is nothing but pay based on emissions. That means if it is less pollution, then less payment. Emission trading system, it is an overall cap on emissions, which means those who reduce their pollution level and innovate are economically rewarded. Presently, only around 12% of global emissions are covered by prices such as taxes on the carbon content of fossil fuels or permit the trading programs that put a price on emissions. According to WHO, World Health Organization, it is estimated to cause over 3 million premature deaths a year worldwide through increasing the risk of heart disease, lung cancer, and so on. Taxing the carbon content of coal will increase its price and decrease its use, leading to both fewer carbon dioxide emissions and better public health due to cleaner air. Adopting carbon pricing can reduce emissions in several ways, aligning the economic incentives with low carbon objectives, driving investment in clean innovation and technology, and encouraging consumers and industries to become more efficient. So, for example, industrial process and activities, they generate emissions of pollutants such as nitrogen oxide, ammonia, mercury, and carbon dioxide. They pollute water, air, and land, and they damage human health, environment, and nature. A carbon tax imposes a fixed price on carbon equivalent on GHG emissions. The objective is to increase the cost of fossil fuel and provide an incentive for the investments in fuel switching strategies and energy efficient technologies. Carbon pricing, which an effective policy tool for addressing the climate changes, faces several challenges in its implementation and adoption. They are political opposition, economic impacts, distributional effects, carbon leakage, monitoring and enforcement, public perception and acceptance, global cooperation. So, overcoming these obstacles, it requires coordinated efforts among governments, businesses, civil society, and international organizations to design and implement carbon pricing mechanisms that are fair, effective, and politically feasible. And also, it can be addressed through international cooperation, revenue recycling. For example, using carbon tax revenues to fund clean energy projects and complementary policies. For example, subsidies for renewable energy. Here are some specific policy recommendations for implementing carbon pricing effectively. Establish clear objectives, choose the right pricing mechanisms, address equity and fairness, provide certainty and stability, promote innovation and technological development, coordinate with other policies, engage stakeholders, and build support, monitoring, and evaluation. The objective of the policy is to effectively reduce greenhouse gas emissions while promoting fairness, economic growth, and innovation. There are two case studies included. First is Dalmia Bharat Cement, reducing the emissions through carbon pricing fund. It's a leading Indian cement manufacturer company. They started to work with low carbon projects, setting up their investments in low carbon technology. The second case study is about Mahindra and Mahindra. It also drives investment with hybrid carbon pricing scheme. They started their new projects towards significant greenhouse gas emissions, which can shift investments towards less carbon incentive. So technology plays a crucial role in the environmental conservation by providing innovative solutions to mitigate and reverse environmental degradation. It enables the monitoring and assessment of ecosystems, allowing for data-driven decision making and informed conservation strategies. Then is effective public engagement. It is therefore key to success in planning for climate change. Then last is public awareness. quality and integrity of environment can be preserved by the public awareness. So I conclude by saying achieving a zero carbon future, it requires coordinated efforts from the government, businesses, communities, and individuals worldwide. Innovation, investment, and collaboration, they are essential to address the urgent threat of the climate change and build a sustainable future for the generations to come. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, completed.
Thank you, Mr. Hariharan. So I would
Thank you,
like
ma'am.
to hear from Dr. Srividya Madam to comment and give your thoughts
Uh,
about his today's speech, and followed by Dr. B. Tanuja and from Dr. E. Kavita as well. Thank you.
let's start with Dr. Tanuja, then I would take it up. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you, ma'am. Yeah, nice presentation, Hariharan. You have stated about the carbon price. Yes, of course, that helps to shift the burden for the damage back to those who are responsible for it. So you rightly pointed out that in your presentation, and that helps to that helps the industry persons who are responsible for the carbon emissions to reduce it, instead of dedicating who should reduce emissions where and how. And also the carbon price gives an economic signal, and pollutes decide for themselves whether to discontinue the polluting activity and to reduce the emissions, or continuing the polluting, and whether they have to pay for it, like that. And I would like to add two more points here. There are we have emission trading systems and carbon taxes, which allows that carbon tax. It's nothing but it directly sets a price on carbon by defining a tax rate on greenhouse gases emissions. And not only that, it helps to concentrate the that is monitoring the pollution which is coming out of the industries. And not only that, it also sets a goals for to make a clean environment. And also about the ETS, I just want to say here, it is by creating supply and demand for emissions allowance, by which we can ensure that emission reductions will take place to keep the emitters or the response who's responsible to control the emissions. That's all about it. All the best and congratulations, Hariharan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hariharan. That was a very comprehensive presentation, I would say. Despite all odds, despite all hurdles, you really made it. And we are so happy to about your presentation. Well, if you would allow me to add on to it, you have covered almost all the points in a very comprehensive way. And the way you presented it with the case studies of exactly what you made, that was really quite impressive. And sum it up with all the inputs that we have taken here, that definitely we accept that tax certainty refers to the predictability and stability of the tax policies over time, because it has kept on changing over time. That's why we stress on the point that over time, and we are there with you. And definitely, it's a crucial factor for businesses and individuals in making long term decisions in terms of investments, plans, and expansions within the country or nationally or internationally. So, when it comes to the environmental policies linked with these finances, if they're more related to, as you mentioned, if they're more related to the carbon pricing, tax certainty plays a very significant role in fostering progress and encouraging transition from a low carbon economy to a sustainable economy. That's what we're talking about. And as you rightly put in the 5 different headers which I've taken, first you started with the long term planning aspects that are more required for a cleaner technology, for energy efficiency measures, and also sustainable practices which are involved in it. And moving ahead, how come the investment measures which will which will influence the investment confidence in people, taking about the tax policies, including carbon pricing mechanisms, which can deter investment in the renewable energy, rather by moving to providing tax certainty that the governments can create a more favorable investment climate, attracting climate capital to industries that can contribute in reducing the green gas emissions. I mean, greenhouse gas emissions. So, the third factor that you have taken is if you are going to implement it, what is required? Innovation and the research in tax certainty, in the cleaner energy technologies, providing a stable regulatory environment and marketing signals for investment. So thereby, we achieve the market stability with the carbon pricing mechanisms such as carbon taxes, cap and trade systems, which will introduce the price volatility into the markets initially. Thereby, tax certainty with a clear policy signal from the governments can adapt more smoothly to carbon pricing, leading to the greater stability in the carbon markets and the pricing mechanism that has come over time. So there will be a behavioral change which has to be accepted overall when we implementing something new in the system from the consumers, from the business and the investors. We agree with that. And so we all will, we are there in this together to have the policy effectiveness to talk about to take forward this tax certainty, which is a new thing which will take the progress of carbon pricing towards a sustainable and predictable economic efficiency as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Srividya and Dr. Tanuja. And if Kavita madam would like to give you a word for a minute or a couple of minutes, you can.
Kavita madam is.
Are you available, ma'am?
No, she's not available. We can
okay,
go.
Okay, yeah, she's not there in the session. Okay, we should go ahead with the next speaker. I hope Jana is ready now to do his presentation. I hope his internet is clear.
Mr. Jana?
Mr. Jana? There's no response from him. So I guess we shall go with the next speaker. Maybe we shall give some more time.
Hemachandran?
So,
yeah,
we shall go with Hemachandran. Okay. So let us move on with the next speaker, Mr. Hemachandran, PD. He is a student of BTech IT, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, partner representation of IGIN. He's going to share a presentation about addressing the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of the economy. We welcome you, Mr. Hemachandran. You may share your screen and go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, ma'am. So I know sharing screen.
Mr. Hemachandran?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah. I thank all of you to give me the chance to address the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of economy. So
kindly introduce yourself and then go ahead with the presentation, Mr. Hemachandran.
Yeah, ma'am. Next time came to my introduction. So I'm happy and privileged to introduce myself. I'm Hemachandran from Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. I'm studying BTech IT third year. So I'm here to share my keen knowledge about the digital economy and the challenges arising when it is digitalized. Thank you. So let's get into the topic. So what is digitalization of economy? The digitalization of economy, just a minute, no? It refers to the integration of digital technologies into the all aspects like GPay, PhonePe, everything, and fundamentally changing how business and consumers interact, produce, and consume goods and services. We all know about the digital goods and digital services. The transformation is driven by several key technologies, including the internet, mobile devices, cloud computing, etc. So, what are all the tax challenges we are facing here? The digitalization of the economy has brought about significant challenges for tax system around the world. We all know we are jumping into the another level of economy, like we are. It may be the it will maybe the era of cryptocurrencies, bitcoins, etc. One of the key challenges is determining the appropriate tax treatment of digital transactions given the borderless nature of the digital economy and the intangible nature of digital goods and services. So these are all the basic challenges we are going to face when it is fully digitalized. So taxation of digital goods and services and the PE, that means permanent establishment and value creation, tax avoidance and evasion, international cooperation. So what's taxation of digital goods and services? Determining how to tax digital goods and services such as software, ebooks, and online subscription can be challenging due to their intangible nature and it may easy to cross border transactions. So let's jump into the PE, permanent establishment, determining when a digital business has a taxable presence in a country can be complex as digital business can operate remotely across the overseas without a physical presence. We all know it's if it is digitalized, it may not a value for the physical presence. So value creation. Digital business often generate value from intangible assets such as user data and algorithms, making it difficult to determine the appropriate allocation of profits among the different jurisdictions. So, tax avoidance and evasion. It's the most important topic under this study. So, the digital economy can facilitate tax avoidance and evasion through strategies such as profit shifting and the base erosion. Tax authorities need to develop effective measures to address these challenges. And this is the most very quite interesting task, international cooperation. So every nation and every country has their own priorities on their own interests. So coordinating within themselves to face these challenges will be the most prior challenge in this sector. So to address these challenges, countries and international organizations like IGEN, BPES, OECD, where they are organizing, exploring various policies options. So these are the digital service taxes, DSTs. Some countries have introduced and some of the countries is considering to introduce DSTs, which target revenue generated by the digital businesses in their jurisdictions. DSTs have been criticized for their potential to create trade tension and double taxation. And again, we need to update all the tax rules because we are going to be digitalized all. So countries are considering updating international tax rules such as the OECD. We all know about the OECD Organization of Economic, and BEPS initiative to address the challenges of the digital economy. So, unified approach. The OECD is working on a unified approach to address the tax challenges of the digital economy, which aims to ensure that digital business are taxed where they created value. And this is the most important one, data sharing and transparency. So we have to enhance the data sharing and transparency among the tax authorities so it can help combat tax avoidance and evasion in the era of digital economy. So for the future outlook and conclusion, so we need to digitalize the digitalization as the future of economy. So we need to digitalize all the economy in the form of digital and importance of addressing tax challenges. We need to give importance in addressing all of the tax challenges here in every form of possible ways. Like we have to address these challenges in summits, conferences, etc. Need for collaborative solution. As I already mentioned, we need to collaborate with everyone, I mean every nations to give a better solution for these problems. Call to action. We need to call the stakeholders itself so they can understand the tax challenges and we found a solution from the basic stakeholder to MNCs. We conclude. In conclusion, the digitalization of the economy presents both opportunities and challenges for the tax system worldwide. While technologies have enabled business to operate more efficient and reach global markets, they have also created complexities in taxation due to the intangible nature of digital transaction and easy the cross-border, that means overseas operations. Thank you. Ma'am?
Yes, thank you, dear.
Thank
Maybe
you.
request Dr. Tanuja.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can share inputs. Thank you.
Hemachandran, very nice presentation
Thank you.
on addressing the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of the economy.
Yeah,
So
ma'am.
you have pointed about the digitalization of the economy and also the transparent tax transparency, focused on that. You rightly pointed about that, the role of tax transparency and the exchange of information, which is very vital in the fight against tax evasions and other illicit financial flows. And also you have clearly explained about the digital transformations, the innovations, and then generates efficiencies and improves services, and which also boosting more inclusive and sustainable growth, and enhancing the well-being. And also, you talked about the focus of OECD, G20 base erosions and profit shifting projects, and those things you have pointed out. Yeah, it's very, we are very, thank you for sharing your very clear content.
Thank you.
All the best. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation, Hemachandran. And
Thank you.
yeah, it almost, as ma'am was mentioning, it had covered almost all the points which are more related to it. And only few, as you rightly mentioned, the digitalization of the economy, when we talk about, has been significant, has have had through the process from the past to the future, present and the future. It has significant challenges for the tax authorities worldwide. It's not about one particular country that we're talking. It is in the globally. It has definitely had some challenges, particularly in ensuring the multinational digital companies pay their fair share of taxes. As we all know, like there is always a place for one man's need, but not for a man's greed. So that's
Yeah.
where thing makes a difference, as we expect. The main thing is streamline the system, which is so seamless in these companies, which should have a fair share of the taxes to be paid, and anyone with due concurrence to it, with due adherence to it, follow its compliance and the norms that are expected as not only as a citizen of a country, but also as a global citizen as well. Then moving ahead, when talking about the updating the taxation rules, that were designed by the pre-digital economy, that's a key thing, that there is a transformation, and one of the challenges is updating the international taxation rules. These taxation rules, which were designed in the pre-digital economy era, is
Yeah.
finding often struggling to gel the balance, to bridge the balance between the digital business operating procedures across borders, as you rightly mentioned, globally. So this is where all the efforts are going underway to definitely to update these rules to better align with the digital economy. Otherwise, the whole effort will go, futile. So one such approach, which you really mentioned about organizing this economic cooperation and development, that's the OECD, and that's initiatives that aim to address this tax avoidance strategies by the multinational companies, and also including those in the digital sector. As we all know, that when we start implementing the new thing, then this implementing digital currency should comply with the digital service taxes system. So some countries have definitely introduced and proposed for the digital services taxes as well as a short-term measure to ensure that digital companies contribute more to these tax revenues. End of the day, we are trying to target those companies which are not in complying with the tax adherences. So introducing this digital money, digital currency, and introducing the digital tax service system as we have implemented back over here in UAE, etc. So one such example, which I'm just taking as an example. So these are the typical target revenue generated with certain digital services with online advertising, how to capture the online advertising process which are going on, and the digital social media marketing which is going on, which has been through and through, which are just getting away with the taxation, the benefits which are through it. Whereas the other country, other businesses which are duly, adhering or, like following those norms which are required, they are all paying so much taxes where the other way of coming out. So we need to bridge up these gaps which are so prevalent in the society, and with minimum effective taxations which are involved in it. Such an approach could help us playing the field and reduce tax competition between the countries as well. So, definitely, as you rightly mentioned, what is to be finally will make it successful is that engagement with the stakeholders. So engaging stakeholders, including the digital companies, policymakers, civil societies, and the communities is essential in developing an effective and balanced tax policies for the digital economy. So, of course, consultations and dialogues are going on, creating awareness, sharing platforms like this help us to identify the challenges, explore more potential solutions, and build on those consensus moving way forward. Thank you so much, Hariharan. That was a wonderful presentation. And thank you. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure having you. And we would like to have you for forthcoming sessions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Hemachandran PD, for your wonderful presentation. And I thank Dr. Srividya Madam and also Dr. Tanuja for giving thoughtful comments about his presentation. Thank you very much, all of you. And we shall continue with our next session talk from Dr. Bishnu Padabose, but I would like to just confirm whether he's there in the session or not.
He was, I think
he's not.
Internet problem. He's on and off.
Okay.
And
okay, no problem. So let's go with the next speaker.
Mr. Jenna, are you ready?
Jenna,
Yes, ma'am.
Jenna, will you be able to present it now? Or you need some more time?
No, ma'am. I'm present now.
Okay, so once again, I would like to tell about Mr. Jenna. He's going to discuss about tax and the environment. He's a student of BEEEE, a student chairman of Amit University, partner representation of IGEN. Mr. Jenna, you can turn off your video, but you can share the screen for your presentation.
Yes, the screen is visible. It has loaded. Please go ahead, Mr. Jenna. Please go ahead.
I would like to start my introduction.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Again, there is some problem on his network, I guess.
Mr. Christopher. Ma'am?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Taxation policies can significantly impact the environment. Governments can use taxes as a tool to incentivize environmentally friendly behaviors and discourage harmful practices. Taxes can encourage businesses to reduce their environmental footprint. Additionally, tax incentives for renewable energy sources or energy efficient technologies can promote sustainable practices. However, The effectiveness of these policies depends on their design, enforcement, and complementary measure to address broader environmental challenges. Carbon taxes. Carbon taxes are levied on the carbon content of fossil fuels, which are major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. By taxing carbon emissions, governments aim to internalize the environmental costs associated with burning fossil fuels, such as climate change impacts. Carbon taxes incentivize business and individuals to reduce the carbon footprint by investing in cleaner technologies, adopting energy efficient practices, or shifting towards renewable energy sources. Next one is pollution taxes. Governments can impose taxes on specific pollutants such as sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxides to discourage reducing harmful emissions into the environment. Pollution taxes encourage companies to invest in pollution control technologies and adopt cleaner production processes to minimize their environmental impact. Resource extraction taxes. Taxation on the extraction of natural resources such as minerals, timbers, or water can influence the sustainable use of these resources. By taxing resources extraction, governments can promote conservation efforts, encourage recycling and waste reduction, and ensure that resource extraction activities are conducted in an environmentally responsible manner. Subsidy reform. Reforming subsidies that support environmentally harmful activities such as fossil fuel production or intense agriculture is another way to align tax policies with environmental objectives. Redirecting subsidies towards sustainable alternatives such as renewable energy projects or organic farming practices can promote environmentally friendly behaviors and reduce negative externalities. Tax incentives for renewable energy. Governments often provide tax incentives such as investment tax credits, product tax credits to promote the of renewable energy technologies such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. These incentives make renewable energy investment more financially attractive for business and individuals, accelerating the transition to a low carbon economy. Environmental tax shifting. Environmental tax shifting involves reallocating tax burdens from environmentally benign activities such as labor or income to environmentally harmful activities such as pollution or resource extraction. By shifting taxes towards activities that have negative environmental impacts, governments can internalize environmental costs and create economic incentives for sustainable development. Revenue recycling. The revenue generated from environmental taxes can be used to fund environmental conservation programs, invest in clean energy infrastructure, or provide assistance to communities affected by environmental degradation. By earmarking tax revenue for environmental purpose, governments can ensure that the funds are directed towards addressing environmental challenges and promoting sustainable development. Conclusion. Overall, taxation policies play a crucial role in shaping environmental outcomes by economic incentivizing sustainable behaviors and internalizing environmental costs. However, the effectiveness of environmental taxation depends on various factors, including the design of tax instruments, enforcement mechanisms, political and integration cooperation. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Jana. Dr. Srividya, we would like to hear from you about his presentation.
Ruja, would you like to take the lead and then I'll follow?
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Jana, for your wonderful presentations. You have clearly explained about what are the important policies the government has to take to concentrate on the environmental in environmental aspects. That is the subsidies the government has to encourage for using renewable resources and recycling things and upscaling the things. And also you have rightly pointed about the uh, uh, that is the pollution taxes which the industries are concentrating for the pollutants like sulfur dioxide or nitrogen dioxide, which are very harmful to the environment. And also you have rightly pointed about the resources extraction taxes for that is that's what the circular economy says. Instead of extracting from the natural resources, if we are concentrating, or if you are giving importance for the circular economy, so that directly have a great impact on the resources taxes. And the government of India also has used subsidized to support the various energy sectors in India. That is particularly in renewable energy target of 175 gigawatt by 2022, a goal that has been increased to 450 gigawatt by 2030. That point I just want to include here. And also one more point I just want to include about the carbon neutral economy. The government is also giving subsidies for using renewable energy sources like biomass pellets instead of that is coal fire or thermal power plants, because that resulted in carbon dioxide emissions. So when we are concentrating on this kind of the carbon neutral like renewable energy resources, it saves up to 38 million metric tons annually. So that supports first that is to save the taxes like that. Yeah, that's all about that. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jenna. I really appreciate your perseverance and, try till you succeed, and you succeeded presenting it today amidst us. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we are so, yeah, really, we are so overwhelmed by your dedication, by your commitment to have this presentation shared with us today. Thank you so much. And nothing can stop us. When it comes to youth, that's what is the thing that we take it forward. And this is a key takeaway for today, not about tax and everything. Nothing can stop if an youth decides. If he wants to present it, he will present it. If he wants to take it forward, he will take it forward. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, on that note, definitely it was a very comprehensive presentation, and Dr. Tanuja has briefed it, summed it up so beautifully. And as tax policies play a very significant role in influencing the environmental behavior and outcomes. And as we mentioned about the carbon tax and the pollution taxes, as ma'am was mentioning, subsidies for the renewable energy and tax incentives for the energy efficiency, and also the land taxes that is also included in the environmental implication. So the vacant land, taxes for the vacant land speculation can encourage with a more efficient land use, discourage urban sprawl, which has been so prevalent not only uh, in one country, across the globe. It has been through and through in terms of mining or acquisition or whatever thing. This will help to preserve the natural habitats and reduce environmental impact and development, such that we are able to, our motto is to go down to the grassroots level and help those people have a sustainable living. So in that case, these land tax are very, very important, and renovation of reforms and refurbishing the whole structure of the landforms has land tax has to really come forward, and resource extraction taxes. And also one more thing, which not last but not the least, to be not left in the mention, is the waste management taxes.
Yes.
As we all know, making use of the resources in a possible way is that how to make use of our resources which are available, and the waste management to help it. And so this is an incentive for recycling, those who are so bent to recycling. As our IGEN, most of our IGEN projects are an epitome of recycling, as a good example for recycling. So for all these things, if waste management taxes also come in vogue, such that it can help in composting and all other waste reduction strategies, making landfilling, and also like providing revenue for funding recycling programs and other waste management initiatives will also contribute to that. So overall, the tax policies can be or some powerful tools for addressing the environmental challenges by internalizing externalism. That is, we cannot keep the external factors as the influences or the catalysts which are contributing to it. We have to make it more inclusive, start working on that such that we are able to promote sustainable practices in terms of investments in cleaner technologies and the behaviors for designing and also for designing effective environmental tax policies with a careful consideration of economic, social, and political factors of the community, of the particular nation, of the particular state to ensure that they achieve the intended objectives, minimizing the unintended consequences, thus enabling for a sustainable economy and also for a sustainable future. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Janna. It was a
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
presentation.
Actually, yes, madam, you have rightly pointed about. And one thing I just want to share it here. Practically, we have seen the reduction of the cost price. Actually, in our college campus, we are upscaling the flower waste instead of
Yeah,
coal. So we have seen the cost reduction, the reduction in the price of the that incense sticks. And not only that, we are reducing the carbon emissions, and also we able to reduce the cost of the incense sticks. So naturally it is a direct what it reduces the taxes also, right? So
exactly.
we
Ma'am, this can
yeah,
be done in every single institution, not only with the MGR University. I'm talking about every single school, every single institution can do it. Every year, children are buying books. I don't know for what joy. I really don't know what
yes.
for what joy they are buying books. Can't we make digital books? Can't we reduce those paper printing and other things, which
Definitely,
is
ma'am.
so
We are doing actually in our institutions. We are doing because it is a very big institutions. We have papers and flower. We have a beautiful temple in our campus. So there are a lot of flowers being wasted, and also it is a very greenery area. So leaves shreds are there. So we are doing composting. We are doing incense sticks, and also we are trying to get some funding for paper conversion into cardboards. So
yeah.
whatever waste we have created in our campus, we are converting that as a wealth, and thereby the cost reductions we can able to see, ma'am. So this I
Exactly.
just
And
want to
if this is done with the government initiative, if this is done with the government support, all these youth children, these students who are now taking initiative and coming and talking to us or expressing their views, they will take initiatives more and more such as they will be recognized, they will be more motivated in and as we do it from one, charity begins at home. So if we start with one institution, so other institutions also will follow through, and everybody will follow the crowd. And as such, I'm sure, imagining or thinking about a global renovation system of one country, one globe, one country, one future, one vision,
yes,
one mission is such, definitely will be able to achieve it in no time, in very less time as such. And that too with inspiring youths like us. You know how I'm really overwhelmed with joy when I see youth coming and presenting. I really mean it, ma'am. For us, for our age, for our experience, it's so easy for us to just sum it up and we talk about so many things. But youth coming and talking and taking initiatives and all these things should be, really recognized by everyone across the globe.
yes,
And especially, we should be very highly appreciative of the time and effort which they have put in. If not for anything, the effort of time, what they've put in of being here, making the presentation, doing the research work, talking about it, finding facts about it, really all these things should be applauded. Really, really. I'm so overwhelmed. And taking it forward, I want all these youth cabinet ministers to take the lead forward such that they should be able to take the program through and through in their own regime. They can form a community, they can lead it through in the same name of G20 International Youth Cabinet. Each one can be a leader and they will have other people who are following them and they can take it forward. That's what we are visualizing and hope we'll be able to achieve. Thank you.
thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. This comment I really liked a lot from Dr. Tanuja and from Dr. Srividya. It was interesting and thought provoking as well. So, as Srividya Madam said, it can be initiated by the students, youngsters from college, and maybe from 15 years who is doing high school, and the college people can initiate all these things. I really enjoyed listening to the comments. Thank you so much. And it happened because of Mr. Jana S. Though his speech was a bit delayed, it was really good and it made us to discuss a lot. Thank you so much, Mr. Jana S. and both of our panel speakers. So now I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Bishnu Pada Bose, a PhD scholar from Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India, project manager, ITC Limited. He is a partner representative of GSFN. So he is going to discuss about green finance for sustainable solutions. We welcome you, Dr. Vishnu Pada Bose.
Welcome,
You can share
Doctor.
your screen and go ahead, please.
Very good afternoon, good evening. Where are you now? Especially Dr. Srividya Madam, Dr. Tanuja Madam, and Kubashini Madam, and other distinguished guests, esteemed speaker. Thank you so much. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude for giving me opportunities. Yes, I am sharing my slides. I'm Dr. Bishnupada Bose, Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering, SBU, Kolkata. Very good evening. This is my topic, Green Finance and Sustainable Solutions. I think slideshow mode is not running because due to huge fluctuation of internet.
Dr. Vishnu Pada Bose, would you like to take
Yes.
our support? We can present it for you.
Let me see. Now it's okay. It's visible.
Okay, it's visible. Yes.
If I'm facing problem, then I'll. Okay,
Yeah,
please,
one suggestion is that
yes,
you have to
yes.
freeze your video and then you can continue your presentation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Then again, I stop sharing. Then I stop this video.
Yeah, now without video, it will definitely work. Sure. Yes.
No, it's not working still. But without slideshow, can I display?
So we would like to support you. If you share your presentation with some of our cabinet
Yeah.
members, they will help you to
Okay.
share your screen.
Yes, yes. Definitely.
Dr. Srividya, Madam, is it possible for you to share? Please share your presentation on chat so that any of our members will help you to share it so that you can present.
Yes. Yeah, I've shared this in the chat box.
Okay.
So by the time we will, yeah, he's shared the file.
It is PPT mode. May I share PDF?
It's okay. PDF is also fine. No issues.
Now it is a PPT.
But you need to convert, right? It will take time.
No. PDF all I have in my file.
Okay.
I
So,
guess today a lot of people are facing some problems with their network.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. I hope Dr. Srividya is supporting you to
yeah.
Yes.
deal with your presentation. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I've got it.
Yes.
I should be able to share it in a minute now. Just a second, sir. Just give me a second.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Dr. Srividya, I hope everything
Yeah.
is well on your side.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just give
Thank
me a
you.
second. 1 minute.
Sure, madam. So before he starts with his presentation, once again, let me tell about his topic for today's speech is Green Finance for Sustainable Solutions by Dr. Vishnu Padabose, a PhD scholar. So I hope his presentation is ready.
Dr. Vishnu Padabose?
Yes. May I
Are you
continue,
ready,
madam?
sir? Yeah, one
Yes.
second. I'm just going ahead with that.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Now it is visible. May I start?
it is visible. Yes, please.
Yes.
You can have your
So-
introduction,
Thank you
sir,
so
and then we
much.
can
No.
move it.
Yes. Very good afternoon, good evening. I'm Dr. Vishnu Bose, a professor of civil and environmental engineering, SBU Kolkata. So this is my presentation. Now next page is green and green finance. Actually, green word means to continually improve upon the manners that resources are utilized that results in reduced impact to human health, ecosystems, biodiversity, and the environment, and is done without sacrificing the current and future needs of our world. So again, it is related to green finance. Green finance is a process of increasing financial support for sustainable development priorities such as shifting towards renewables, reducing pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and waste. It's also involved improving the use of natural resources and aligning financial systems with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. Madam, next please. Yes, green finance. Green finance comprises many elements. Here I have presented some elements from the research paper. The financing of public and private green investment in the following areas: environmental goods and services, prevention, minimization and compensation of damages to the environment and to the climate, and the financing of public policies that encourage the implementation of environmental and environmental damages, mitigation adaptation projects and initiatives. Components of the financial systems that deals specifically with green investment such as green climate fund or financial instrument for green investment, including their specific legal, economic and instrumental framework conditions. Again, the same almost green finance comprises the following three different aspect: financing of public and green policies, green financing systems, financing of green investment, including preparatory and capital costs. Now, sustainable solution. Actually, we are looking, or whole world is looking for providing sustainable solution, because the 17 sustainable goals specified by the United Nations, we have to achieve this goal 2030. So different measures has been taken by the different countries, and it is under process. The sustainable solutions are balanced way to promote initiatives, programs, and services that are economically sound, socially desirable, and environmentally healthy. They help organizations improve their social, economic, and environmental impacts. Few projects under the green finance. In general, many projects is there, but in general, green finance covering this type of projects, because all are connected to mitigate the global warming and climate change, reducing pollutions, greenhouse gases, resource optimization, energy optimization, reduce energy consumption. So based on this, this is the focused area where green finance are applicable. Renewable energy and energy efficiency, pollution prevention and control, biodiversity conservation, circular economy initiative, sustainable use of natural resources and land. This is the one glimpse of the global green finance status. The global green finance market was valued 4.18 trillion in 2023, just last year, and is expected to reach 20.71 trillion by 2033. The global green finance index places London first, and this is the followed by the New York, Geneva, Zurich, and Singapore. So this is the three different instrument: bond, IPO, PEs, etc. This is the graphical representation of the green finance status. This is the bond. This color is IPO. The sky color is. It is not mentioned over it. Okay. Next, madam. How to promote green finance? Making required changes for green financing to nations' regulatory frameworks, allowing public sectors financial decision with sustainable development objectives, encouraging different sectors to participate in this financing, boosting investment in clean and green technologies, boosting the use of green bonds, encouraging private and public partnership towards green projects. This is the benefits through the green financing. Encouraging green financing on a massive scale implies that green or environmental initiative get priority over usual business investment that may or may not be sustainable. Focusing on such finance leads to transparency and a regular flow of investment into environment objectives. The growth of this type of financing will help in the creation of major jobs and business opportunities. All this will ultimately lead to a better human life and facilities, as well as sustainable development without spoiling or destroying nature. This is the important aspect, that classification of green finance and monetary policy. This I have collected from the research papers. This is the source. Neoliberal forms of green finance and green monetary policies, then reformist forms of green finance and green monetary policies, progressive forms of green finance and monetary policies. So I am explaining first one, neoliberal forms of green finance and green monetary policy. The term neoliberal is used to refer to a set of policies that rely primarily on market forces tend to restrict the public sector's active engagement of and promote the private sectors. Neoliberal policies often go together with distributional implication in favor of the capital and wealthy, and may also rely on authoritarian state intervention. Reformist forms of green finance and green monetary policy. The term reformist refers to approaches that deviate from a neoliberal perspective, is that they are more skeptical of markets and see a more active role for the states in achieving environmental goals. Moreover, distributional effect of green finance and green monetary policy are considered important. Such reformist forms of green finance tend to put the cost onto private corporates and the financial sectors while supporting less wealthy households. Then again, progressive forms of green finance and monetary policies. Progressive forms of green finance tend to be supported by approaches in the broader critical political economy and critical ecology that are skeptical about the possible alignment between capitalist productions and environmental sustainability. Progressive green finance and monetary policy can be understood against the background of degrowth perspective and proposals of the People's Green New Deal, but also as being part of the foundational thinking and strategies to contribute to a socio-ecological transformation. This is the index prepared by some agency. This is the source, IFF Global Finance and Development Reports. This index has prepared a overall rank in connection of the green finance mobilization initiative, application, also, etc. So 55 countries they have published. I have collected this data from there. For example, France is the overall ranking 1 on the green finance, policy and strategy rank 2, market and product 1, international cooperation 2. Likewise, they have prepared the rank. So this is the good thing that from this chart we can explore the status of the green finance across the globe. However, it is a 55 countries they have mentioned. Maybe this type of index also there in the research papers. Okay, madam, next.
Yeah.
Challenges to green finance. Of course, there is a challenges of the green finance in the context of outcome of the green finance mobilization. So often short-term time horizon of the investors does not match with the long-term green investments. There always remain an issue with regards to proper coordination, cooperation, and alignment of financial and environmental objectives. Each would like to pull the trigger to prioritize its own objectives. So, present and projected competitiveness, mispricing and no pricing of risk, market distortion and shortcomings, competing objectives, limited capital and limited awareness, regulatory gaps. Again, this is a green finance implementing strategies. Although there is no single best solution for the various situations and projects that demand green financing, there exist a number of interventions and measures that may be appropriate for common constant and levels of development. The following describe the various policy options that can improve the regulatory landscape to overcome investment challenges of green finance. That is mainly 5 categories mentioned in the research papers: information building policy, environmental regulations, market for green finance product and environmental goods and services, public financing, government support targets only the early stage of development. One slide is there. No, one is there. Conclusion. Adopting green finance would reduce the country's carbon footprint. It will present a unique opportunities for investors to actively engage in sustainable development and contribute to a greener future while generating wealth from long-term sustainable investment. Thank you so much. This is my small presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Vishnupada Bose. As we all know, when there are few people whom we can always rely upon, how much ever time it is, and they will never let us down. How much ever problems they face, they will overcome those challenges, challenge those challenges, however make it possible. So thank you so much, and we know that you will be able to do it. And it is always a pleasure having you, Dr. Vishnupada Bose, with us. You have been a very consistent speaker, and we really congratulate you for that. And definitely, each and every insight that you've shared till now on this platform and the other COP 2034 platform has been so, in a sense, like it has been so enlightening for people, and we have learned always from you. Always there is a learning experience, it's a learning experience, and it is definitely very rare to find people like you. And as I know, like you will be one of the person as a youth ambassador, you will be able to take forward this G20 Youth Cabinet in your regime. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. I also grateful to all of you that providing this platform. It is a very unique platform. It's a global level platform. So thank you so much. I also grateful to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir. So, as Dr. Vishnupada Bose was mentioning, that green finance refers to the financial products, services, investments that support environmentally sustainable projects and initiatives worldwide. And it plays a very crucial role in facilitating the transition to a low carbon into a resource efficient and environmentally sustainable economy. So, before going into detail, we have got one more speaker who is waiting to speak on the same topic. After that, we'll do the summary. Sure. Thank you so much.
Sure.
On that note, may I request Ms. Kripashri to welcome the next speaker? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, yes. I'm really sorry. Even I'm facing some network issues from my side. I really apologize for that. I didn't expect. So let's go forward with the next speaker, Miss Jaswini Paina, who is a student of BTech ECE, Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women. She is a partner representation of IGEN. She's also going to present today on the topic Green Finance for Sustainable Solutions. Ms. Jasmini Paina, we welcome you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please share your
Thank
presentation
you,
and
ma'am.
go ahead.
I'll share my screen.
Ms. Jaswini, again, your bandwidth is very low. Will you be able to present it, or do you need any support in that?
Yes, ma'am. I'll try. I'll try. Is it there is a my lab?
Shall I share the screen, Jashmi?
Ma'am, is this visible now?
It is getting loaded. It's still loading.
Ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Or shall I share
It
the
is.
screen? I have your
Okay, ma'am.
presentation. Yeah, it is visible, I think.
Ma'am, is it visible? Once again, I'll try.
Ma'am, I think it's better you share the screen so that
Okay. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
she can present.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jaswini, can ma'am present it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just a minute, I will. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is loaded. Maybe we'll have to take up. Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible. So, Ms. Jaswini, can you go ahead with?
Yes, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to thank for this opportunity where I can speak about sustainability. So, I'm Rashmi Paina, currently studying BTech in Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women from Andhra Pradesh. So, firstly, I would like to talk about finance. Finance is solely concerned about economically or financial profitability, but coming to green finance for sustainable solutions, it expands its focus to environmental concerns and financial returns. So, here, as given, green finance for sustainable solutions is the financial support system driving projects that benefit both environment and economy. A definition given by United Nations for environmental program is that green financing is to increase the level of financial flows that is from banking, insurance, investment, from public, private, and non-profit sectors to environment-friendly developed priorities. So, what is the role in promoting sustainability by the green finance is that it encourages investment in renewable energy. Green finance channels funds into renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, hydroelectric power, etc., that mitigates the climate change and also reduces the usage of fossil fuels. And then it supports energy efficiency initiatives. Through green finance, business and individuals can access funding for energy efficient technologies and practices, reducing energy consumptions, dul- lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and saving costs in the long run. And it also promotes clean transportation, like it facilitates development in building electric vehicles and infrastructure and alternative fuel technologies like CNG and other fuels. And it also helps in reducing air pollution and reliance on non-renewable resources. So benefits of green finance is uh, both on economic and environmental benefits. Coming to the environmental benefits, green finance reduces the carbon emissions and preserves natural resources through investments in renewable energy and sustainable initiatives. And then economic benefits, where it creates jobs in green industries, save costs through energy efficiency, and promotes long-term financial stability by investing in resilient infrastructure. And while coming to the real life examples of where green finance is used, it is used in renewable energy projects, like I have already mentioned, in wind, solar, and other power generation units. And coming to the energy efficient projects, like in buildings, industries, and infrastructures, and also in sustainable infrastructures, where investments are made on infrastructures that promote sustainability, such as public transportation, wastewater management, and etc. And it is also involved in investing, where it means making investments with the intention of generating positive social or environmental impacts, where it involves sustainable agriculture and clean technology. uh, and some green instruments that are used are green bonds, green banks, community based green funds, carbon financing. uh, for considering an example, in recent days, we have seen Bangalore, where it is a shortage of water is happening. It is solely because I think it is because of unplanned urbanization, where lakes had dried up due to the improper planning and infrastructures building. So whatever development is made, it must be in a way that it helps the economy as well as the environment. So the future of green finance is growth and innovation potential, where uh, the green finance sector has vast growth potential driven by increasing global demand for sustainable solutions, and continued investments must be made so that it does not affect the future generations. Like it is like if we are using the resources and making investments on infrastructures that are unplanned and exploiting the resources, there would be no resources left for our future generations. So, and also collaboration must be made, where collaboration among diverse stakeholders is vital for maximizing the impact of green finance initiatives, accelerating process progress towards sustainability goals. And then I would like to conclude this session with a quote, where green finance for sustainable solutions is like planting seeds of prosperity in the soil of our planet. It's the financial nourishment that fuels initiatives aiming to protect and preserve our environment while fostering economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jasmine Paina. So let's hear from Dr. B. Tanuja and followed by Dr. Srividya.
Yeah. Um, Thank you for your nice presentation, Jashwini. I'll just sharing my screen. Yeah, you have addressed about you have related the green finance with sustainable finance, and also you have talked about the solution, how to achieve that, particularly the green bonds. So that was really great. How to achieve that? So actually, in 2020, $270 billion was spent on green bonds to obtain the sustainable development, and also they are also taking efforts on accelerating to prevent the misleading marketing known as greenwashing and all. So, United Nations Intergovernmental Panel and Climate Change estimates to concentrate on these green bonds, and also their work. They are having what money raised from investors to use exclusively to finance projects on a positive environmentally to obtain a positive environmental impact, such as what you have mentioned on the renewable energies and green buildings, etc., etc. So very nice presentation, Jashwini. Thank you for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much,
Um,
Dr. Tanuja.
yeah,
Ma'am,
just
go ahead, please.
sure. Thank you. Jasmine, it was a wonderful presentation when we talk about the green finance. And as Dr. Tanuja was mentioning, it was quite you comprehensive in terms of financial products and services, investments that support environmentally sustainable projects and initiatives. And definitely, as you rightly mentioned, this green finance is one thing which plays a very crucial role in facilitating the transition of the low carbon and the resource efficient to environmental sustainable economy. And as you have rightly mentioned, the green bonds. The green bonds are, I would like to call them as debt instruments issued by governments and municipalities and corporations or financial institutions to finance environmentally friendly projects. You know, and these processes from the green bonds are earmarked for the projects such as renewable energy infrastructure as it helps with energy efficiency improvement and the projects that are involved with the sustainable agriculture and also with the climatic change adaptation measures. So, uh, obviously, the investors are attracted towards the green bonds because it offers an opportunity to support environmentally beneficial projects while generating financial returns as well. So it was a good point. And definitely, talking about sustainable investment funds. So, secondly, they are also known as environmental social governance. That is, in within quotations, this is called as ESG. Today's talk of the town. Today, it's no COP20. It's ESG funds and ESG projects. That is environmental social governance. Because we have been talking about projects, we have been talking about initiatives throughout COP20 to 2030 and everything. Now it's like managing this. Every project is implemented. How to manage so many projects? It's like if you turn to every corner, there is one project. There is a new project. There's a new initiative. So this ESG plays a very vital role in governing all these projects for otherwise, everybody will be doing everything in their own regime, in their own area, in their own proficiency and efficiency, whereas optimum, the final impact and outcome will be very less. So this governance of environmental social governance funds and impact investment funds and allocate capitals to companies and the projects for all the stakeholders to demonstrate a strong environmental performance, social responsibility, and also best governance practices that are being shared. So these funds consider the environmental criteria along with the financial considerations while selecting investments aiming to generate a positive and the social and environmental outcomes alongside the financial returns. So it's not only just finance. So there's so many things which are related to the finance these days. Again, green loans, as ma'am has mentioned, even Tanuja ma'am was mentioning, it earmarks the projects such as renewable energy, energy installation, energy efficiency practices, and upgrades and sustainable transportation initiatives, etc., etc. And if at all any stakeholder who has not followed these solar panel systems in their own building or in their own environment, then they are really still living in the past. It's like that. Moving ahead, it's a very, very great initiative which has to be supported. Moving ahead, these green loans, which are provided by banks and the financial institutions for all these special green finance providers, will enable for a sustainable living with a sustainable finance. So, sustainability and the financing. So, we both are two different areas. So, there should be a link. There should be somewhere it should gel. Both should come hand in hand. So, these terms and conditions of loans and bonds will help us to achieve the specific sustainability targets with the performance targets related to reducing carbon emission, improving energy efficiency, increasing renewable energy resources, etc. So, how this could happen? This is where the youth support is required. So, each one is functioning. So many projects have come, so many initiatives have come, but everything is going on in their own regime, in their own domain, in their own discipline. But there should be somewhere, there should be an integration process where the financial mechanisms and the initiatives and the incentives will integrate sustainability into the business strategies and its operation, such that the green infrastructure investments are all to be taken care of in terms of sustainable transport system, as you have mentioned, management facilities, waste and the green buildings, resilient urban infrastructure, etc., etc., etc. End of the day, where everything arrives at is the policy support and the incentives which are being involved in it. These governance, that is ESG, plays a very critical role in promoting this green finance by implementing the supportive policies, regulations, and the incentives. So this may include the tax incentives for green investments, subsidies, grants, etc., and also funding for all these renewable energy projects that are being called and being discussed, forum after forum, platform after platform, discussion after discussion, meeting after conference. And these regulatory requirements for the ESG disclosure and the frameworks will promote sustainable financial practices. Overall, we can sum it up saying that the green finance offers a range of financial instruments and investment opportunities to mobilize the capitals towards environmentally sustainable solutions by challenging these investments into the projects and to address the pressing environmental challenges, and the green finance contribute to the transition to a more sustainable and resilient economy. So thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. So we open the forum to all the speakers and anybody who wish to contribute before we sum it up, because we have to sum it up for 3 headers now for all the 3 topics that we're talking about the finance. So I will come in the last for the summary. So we'll talk with anybody who would like to take the lead. If it's Tanuja, I'll be very happy.
I think Roshni, she want to add some more perhaps.
Yes. Ms. Roshni, please go.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please.
Actually, I'm personally interested to talk on this topic. Why? Because this is really sensitive and also so interesting. And also, I'm an electrical engineer, so comparing my kind of points with along with the charcoal pricing nearly matches with me. Why? Because as an electrical engineer, I
have a
used to go
small
for
request, dear. Please, if I can. If you have a presentation, you don't need to open your video. But if you're going to just talk, at least we would like to see your face. Is it okay?
Ma'am, actually, I'm traveling back to my home.
Okay. Please go
In the
ahead.
middle road, so I couldn't. That's
Please go ahead, dear. Please go ahead.
yeah, actually. So, as I'm an electrical engineer, I used to go for visits like power stations and all. There, once I visited a power station in Chennai, they said that actually they had two units for generating power using coal, but then one unit was shut down because of loss, not because of any manufacturing errors or damages. It was shut down only because of the loss, and that cost because of reduced tariff rate. So, as per news, in the year of 2021, tariff rate in Tamil Nadu was reduced from 8 rupees to 5.50, which actually led government and also the power stations to face a very big loss. Why? Because we are not having much coal near our place. So we used to get it from other countries and other states too. So we have to pay for the coal and also for the export and import purposes. But then, while reducing the tariff rate and reducing the current supply, we are in case of increasing the power supply, we are trying to reduce, and we are refusing to pay amount for the current we are using. So seeing this from a middle class people or lower class people side is actually right. Why? Because the monthly salary we get is really low, and that is well enough for paying our loans and EMI and all. So how could we pay this? But then, seeing from higher class people, that's not a big matter for them, but they refuse to pay this taxes and all, and that is indirectly affecting all the people by increasing the price of daily routine products, especially vegetables, fruits and dairy products, and also increasing the current bill. So everything we face here comes under one single point, tax. So for middle class people, taxes is a very big thing. So many families doesn't know about paying tax because their annual income is very low. But then for higher class people, tax is very simple, but also they refuse to do their responsibility, which is indirectly affecting all the people and also our government too. So hiding money and skipping taxes are very it's a very big thing. And the poor thing is, we know that all these things are happening, but then we couldn't do anything. So lots of issues are in between, but only one suggestion from my side is we have to accept that we have to pay for what we are getting. So just by simply refusing and striking that I cannot accept this increase of power supply rate and all, we have to reduce the power consumption, but we are not doing that, but also refusing to pay. So this is a very big crisis for government and also for the power stations. Not only in Chennai, in all states, in all districts, we have this issue, and because of that, we are shutting power frequently just to reduce production of power. But we are fighting for that also. Then how could government can provide a good power supply, and how could they be? So the debts and the losses of a government is increasing day to day, and that is the main reason for increasing a price of daily products. So anyhow, this is coming under tax, I said before. And then, like, I felt of saying about this thing under this charcoal pricing, because I came to know about this from my engineer, where I went for my project also. So I think if anyone seeing this meet could see, try to
Hello.
pay and be responsible for your thing. Don't blame on others, and we have to pay for what we are getting. So refusing things is not good. That's all.
Thank you, Roshni. That was quite enlightening one. In fact, to be very frank, and we missed you as a speaker today. Well, I do agree with you, but on that note, I have a request because as an educationist, I always relate to see. I tend to relate. I tend to communicate with so many people across. So whatever good practices which I could see, I wish to share it with everyone. Say, for example, the schools over here in this part of the globe, where I'm living, our school, our buildings are all air conditioned. Of course, it's not a luxury that we're talking about. It's a facility basically. Otherwise, we cannot stay indoors. So the thing is, the AC is on all the time, lights are on all the time, and it's a basic. It's not a luxury. That's what we should understand. Our lifestyle is that it's not a luxury, it's a basic facility. So we have introduced a sensor system of switches. Like as you come in, one day when the person comes in, the sensor ons the switch And if the person moves out, the sensor off the switch automatically for all the thing. And moreover, all switches are more or less like centralized. So when a person enters, all switches will on. When a person moves out, the switches will go off. And in other words, like otherwise, with moving ahead, India can take the help of Google and they can activate it with Google. Like as you know, like the Google instructions are given, Google on my light, off my light. So you don't need to have a person doing it, or you don't need to do it. The Google does it for you. So in that case, like I'm sure, like for Indian scenario, there are classrooms in which there are about 60 to 70 students sitting in the classroom, in the same classroom, and as such, a very simple thing, keeping it very airy, keeping the windows, keeping a lot of windows. So all these things can take some of the climatic challenges which they face in the classroom, basically. And this will really help. And how is it being done? That's the thing. That's the key thing which I'm coming out. For this, every school has appointed a student community who just monitors this, and their task is to reduce the electricity bill for that particular school. So the students are working in a committee, like basically it's a student committee, which is called as, they are called as eco warriors. Their job is just to reduce the electricity bill of that particular school. So what I'm talking about is these kind of projects, which are prevalent definitely at the global level, can be try implemented in India such that their school students also will take a lead. There should be student committees as such. Student council is one such a thing which is so very powerful. I tell you, like we don't need to have a big school management system when there is a very active student council in the school. They are there. The websites can be manned by the school student council, although the IT systems can be manned by the school. Of course, with the help of data scrutiny is very, very important. Confidentiality is again very, very important. All these things have to be taken into account. And also there are fire eco warriors, fire extinguishers. So many people, they take different roles, and there are so many committees who are there. And there are also workshops in the school as carpentry workshop, pottery workshop, electrical workshop, as you definitely, as you are an electrical engineer, you will be having electrical workshop in an engineering college. Now, my question is, why is it even restricted to a college level or a university level only? Why not it go to the school level such that every school will have these kind of workshops in vogue, that students will be working on these things? As I told you, the power reduction project that we are working with the school students, these can be taken into account. And as we strongly believe, as you rightly mentioned, charity begins at home. That's the only solution. That's the only solution. If at all I'm going to say something, I should be able to implement it. I should be the first person. Be the change that you wish to see. You should be the change that you're going to take it forward to the community. As long as we realize that we are able to, as you said, why each and every citizen of the country should take the responsibility of paying the tax. So when it is such a case, definitely I agree with you. I'm there with you, and we are all there with you on that point. That's a very valid point to be accepted on this platform. So if each one of us will become responsible, not only to take care of ourselves but also to the community. If at all I find something very challenging, or as a solution provider for the existing challenge, immediately I should go to the rooftop. I should go to the roof of my house and say it so loudly to everyone so that everybody can hear it and everybody can make use of it. Whereas this is not happening in our country, unfortunately. If at all I find something, I just keep it within myself. I will not let my even neighbor know it. So those kind of tendencies, even a very small thing, that will really catalyst the change, and that will really take us move forward. Hope everybody will agree with me. Yes, Tanuja.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah, well said, rightly pointed. And today's talk really amazing, and all the pointers the speakers they have talked about the tax and environment, and the progress with carbon pricing, and also they have addressed on green finance for sustainable development. Yes, sir. That is for sustainable living. The all the industries, institutions, and also each and every individual, they have to they have to follow their own responsibilities. The industries and institutions, they can create a regenerative supply chains, and also they can track and measure the carbon footprints, and also
Yes.
they can concentrate on energy efficiency audits, and they can go for paperless office, digital business cards, and they can invest on green technologies, and also they can implement all the 3R principles: reduce, reuse, and recycle. If all these sustainable practices are done, carried out in the industries and each and every institutions, definitely it will be it will be reflected on the taxes also. So naturally, the resources prices what they are using will be reduced, and it will be much helpful for the publics. So that's what I just wanted to convey my point here. So for which this forum is for the youth, and by the youth, you have mentioned in the early. So each and every youth, they have to take this as a responsibility, and they have to follow in their real time practices, because all the resources what we are using, we are paying for the resources, because in a few decades back, all the natural resources obtained free of cost, but now the air we are getting, it is also we have started buying, and water we also getting without any money. We not able to get a pure water, clean air, and soil, enriched soils, all because of this natural deployation, because of excess use of natural resources. So only thing, if you want to obtain what all the to conserve the resources, we have to follow all the 3R principles. So definitely that will helps us to bring down the taxes, and also leads to sustainable living. Thank you for the
Very true.
opportunity, ma'am.
Very true, ma'am. One more thing, like as you, when you said, it just struck me. Even this movement of vehicles in the road, too many cars, too many buses, too many vehicles. There should be some slab, the audit, and there should be a slab or a chart saying that if you're traveling within 2 kilometers, you will go only by cycle.
Yes,
Bicycle.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
If you're going by 5 kilometers, then it should be only two-wheelers. That is only allowed. Only when you cross about 10 kilometers, then you can use your car. Otherwise, every single person taking a car, and it causes traffic jam. It's unnecessary waste of petrol and the diesel and the resources which are being there. And people should. And these days, this electrical vehicle. These electrical vehicles and all those flying cars which they're talking about. What is the actual purpose of these flying cars? The governance policies should be implemented such that it is made for the sake of the people. These flying cars that they're talking about, if at all we are really bringing them up as an innovation structure, it should be used only in case of emergency, in case of accident, where the accident person has to be moved from the particular spot. Only for that case, these should be used, not for daily commuting. Like people, or otherwise these delivery boys who are there, they are supposed to have those flying bikes. Why? If pizza is getting cold, nothing will happen. We will not die. Like really, people, when they issue these policies, when they really come on this governance, that's why this ESG is a very crucial thing that we're talking about. And this panel of ESG which is coming, I feel, I recommend, I really say with as a promise that youth should be made policy makers for these ESGs. Then, because they are the one who is going to live through it. Whatever policies which are being made, whatever policies that we are facing now, we didn't make the policy. Our ancestors, they made the policy, and we are living through it. So these people, if we make the policies, by the time the youth grows up and they come into the generation living, they will be the victims of these policies which are being. So let them take the lead. Let us give the lead to the youth. Let us give the mandate to the youth for making these policies. Let's be facilitators. Let's be only people who are able to help them out in making these policies such that they will definitely youth will do it. I'm 200% sure they will take the responsibility and they will do much more than even us. Even we might go wrong, but they will not. I'm sure about it. Yes, Dr. Vishnupada
Absolutely.
Bose, would like to add on to it.
Yes, absolutely true, ma'am. Thank you.
Miss
Yes,
Kripashri?
it is.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Yes, Dr. Vidya, Dr. it is absolutely very right things. But what I feel in my country, I have seen many things from the childhood that individual awareness is a very important thing here. Otherwise, we could not achieve the sustainable goal which specified by the United Nations. Because in our country, many people even does not know why what is the emission reduction process, why they are using electric vehicle, why they are why government is constructing the metro railways, rapid mass transportation system for reduction of carbon emission. That is lack of awareness is there in our country, I feel, because it is the largest second populated country. So government, theoretically everything has different, but in reality it will take time, because I have seen that from childhood, the 1980 the metro started in India. Still the metro is construction is going on in cities, while United Nations has dictated that Stockholm Conference 1972 to introduce rapid mass transportation system across the globe. So still this is the problem in our country. Another thing is, in India many resources is there, but still thermal power plant exist in the country. They are producing energy. Government not able to cope up the situation because not able to introduce the many renewable power plant like wind, solar, hydel. Hydel already saturated in the north frontier area. It is sufficient. Hydel power plant is there in wholly Himalaya region. But it will taking time to install nuclear power plant, solar and wind, geothermal, tidal power. This is the difficulties in our countries. So, of course, we are talking about shifting to renewables, but I have seen the how difficult for the government shifting to renewables. As on date, I think it is almost 20, around 20% government has able to shift it towards renewables. I think the 80% power is still in non-renewable sources in our country. So definitely policy and strict policy must be there, and at the same time infrastructure development also a separate dedicated department must be there. So this is all are falling under infrastructure, say green building policies. It is not there in India. As just a few minutes back you have told that energy consumption in the building, wind, natural lights, all are part of the green building systems. The India government not able to form the policy to build in so that is one deficiency. Feel that mainly I think constitutional things also involved over there. Say German, France, South Korea, they have doing something different way, executing something different way. Prompt execution is there, but in India it is a very delayed conditions. I think hope in now gear up the everything in our country. We'll hope that very soon it will cope up the situations and we are able to shift maximum portion to renewable energies. That is the main things. Ultimately, what point is one reduction of the greenhouse gases mainly. So
Thank
in
you,
this
doctor.
context, I could say one thing that recently I have engaged as a partner of a entrepreneurial venture at Singapore. That Mr. S. Bhaskaran, I think I have explained your this platform. Maybe next week he will join here. He has developed one mobile apps which could track the carbon emission for every individuals. Every day, every week, every month, you can get the results. If this mobile apps he has developed.
I was coming to that, and good that you mentioned. If I can add on to your last thing that you said about Dr. Bhaskaran, who has developed a mobile app for energy emission. In schools, we used to have one time called as DEAR time, DEAR. Okay, that is whatever you do, drop everything and read. The bell goes. So wherever you are, whichever learning environment you are in a classroom or a playground, drop everything and read. So that's the DEAR time. I feel this DEAR time, this came up yesterday evening to me when we were observing this Earth hour, because this 1 hour that we have just observed as Earth hour has saved so much energy. So in that case, when you are able to save so much energy once a year for that one particular hour, which is called as Earth hour, in one particular country, which is possible, why not we have this as a dear time? Drop everything and rest. Whatever you're doing, do stop everything and rest. Wherever you are, just sit and rest. You don't need to do anything. First, off the mobiles. This is the very culprit. This is the biggest thief who is taking away so much of our time in this current world. So drop everything and rest, and let's save energy. It's for saving energy that we're talking about. Drop everything and rest. That's called as dear time. Of course, towards the end of the day, when dinner time, everything is over, of course, we should have regulated office timings and working hours. All these things are there definitely. Taking into consideration the major, what do I say? What is it called? Major portion of the people who will be able to do it. So taking into consideration of that particular population, majority claims. So this kind of system, if it comes, we will be able to save energy so much. Vehicles will stop. Yeah, definitely. And electricity will be saved in that particular 1 hour, and it should be done on consistently on every day. Every day it should be done, so that we can really save energy and we can think about it. Like Tanuja ma'am, please take it forward to your engineering college. Let's start doing their time there, starting from
Sure,
India.
sure. Yesterday we celebrated Earth Hour by switching off all
I
the
know
lights and
exactly. Exactly.
yes,
So my husband was asking, like, that's what is the thing. I was asking, why is it so? Then I said, it's deer time. Why do you say it's deer time? It's not Earth hour, it's deer time, our own deer time.
yeah,
So drop everything and rest. It is time to rest. So, it's enough. So something like this definitely has to come such that people, there will be change. That's the thing. That's the only thing. Be the change that you wish to see. If at all we need to
yes,
bring, we're talking about change, that should start within ourselves. You know, that's the thing.
sure.
So definitely, it's a wonderful session, and we really had a good session. I feel so. So I'm waiting for Ms. Prabhashini.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't want to take much time of yours. All your words were so thoughtful today, but I would like to add very few points, whatever I have observed from today's session. And I especially appreciate Ms. Roshni. I always admire at her, presentation. Whatever she speaks, it's really a thoughtful thing that strikes my mind. So today people were dealing about the tax and the environment, green finance, waste management, energy efficiency initiatives, like reducing carbon emissions, etc., etc. So, by all your comments, what I personally felt was when okay, for example, if we are going to a conference, on each different table, we place different small bottles. Those are plastic bottles. Even those things can be avoided. We should reduce our usage of the plastics. So this is also one of the small thing, though we know we are not implementing. So we used to go for a lot of conferences and we deal with a lot of tables, like 10 to 20 tables, which contains a lot of bottles, plastic bottles. Even that can be avoided. That is the first small thing we can do. And yes, and the second thing is those who shower in the washroom. I mean, the shower. We never knew for how long we stand under the shower. That is also one of the reasons that we waste the water, you know. So those things also we should be aware of it. And as Dr. Srividya madam said about the vehicle usage, they use a lot of fuel, and that is also considered as conservation of resources. So in that point, in France, it's almost 10 years, I guess, they have introduced a concept called as covoiturage. It means a common car facility, so where people can share. So even in India, they have a share auto. I mean, we have share auto. Same like that in France, they have introduced covoiturage, just to reduce the usage of fuel. So I hope even in the other countries it has to be initiated so that we can save fuel. And the other thing is using tissue paper. I'm really bad at that. We use a lot of tissue papers. Even that has to be reduced. See, right from all 17, 18, 19-year-old people, those who are giving a speech on these topics, these were popping up in my mind. Oh my God, I should do this, that. So as you say, the charity begins at home. So this is what I felt apart when you people were pointing out all these things. So the plastic bottles can be reduced, and the showering time can be reduced, and even the plastic covers. The government has taken initiatives, but it's up to us again to reduce that. So these are some points it popped up in my mind. And in one of the conferences, even people were pointing the tag that we put, the small color of the tag was the topic which was discussed a long thing. I wish all these young speakers to put everything in actions. Every week I started telling this because I admire at these people like 18, 19, 20 years old people. They
See, end of the day, all these youngsters, what they look for
and
is
their talks are really
encouragement.
intellectual. So I want this is what I felt.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
These
Thank you.
students
End of
must
the day,
start.
yeah, must be encouraged. They should be encouraged. It's not like we are talking all the time. They should be given
Yes,
the platform to exchange their views
exactly.
to what they are doing.
Yes.
Let them, as Roshni was so kind enough to come and say that, ma'am, this is what is regarding the electrical thing that I'm doing as I in my project, in my field of work. That means definitely as she is going to pick up a job, or wherever she is going to, she's not going to just love the job. She's doing it as a passion. It becomes a passion such
Yeah,
that her
exactly.
contribution will be more towards it actually. So,
Exactly.
and
And
she
I guess Dr. Tanuja is really a helping professor, I felt. I've just been observing her week by week. She's really supporting all her students by wholehearted. I really appreciate and thank you so much for supporting the students. But please encourage them to do everything in actions, whatever they are just presenting on the screen. This is what I feel
Thank
personally.
you, ma'am. Actually, in our institution, we are following all the SDG goals. Whatever projects we are doing, it is all based on the SDG goals. So, so each
Wonderful,
and every
wonderful.
student, yeah, it's a very proud to share it here. So we
so
are supporting the students, and students they are very interesting. They are very much interested to do the projects because it is community based, and then for their benefits, for their universe, they are doing. So with passion, they are doing the projects. So this happy
That's great.
things, I just want to share it here. Thank you,
These people
Kripashni.
are going to reach heights. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
really. They should actually. And as some of our even Niranjan today he was asking me like, "Ma'am, can I come late because can we start the session little late?" I said, "No, sir. Session will go on, and you can join in late definitely, no problem." So like things when they're committed, they really prove it.
Yes.
They prove themselves, and we don't need to tell them. It's there in them. It's imbibed in them. We don't need to just like give them reminders, telling them again. And I feel that these days it has taken the reverse table. Only elderly people have become so very reluctant in doing things. I'm sorry to say that. Maybe I'm wrong or whatever thing, but still, that's what I feel. I always love students. I love working with the younger generation. As such, I feel that they are somehow very dependable, very, very dependable. They will never let you down. Even if you just give them one simple task, somehow they will do it. They will do it. And only thing is what they needed a little pat at the back. Yes, come on. You are a champion. Come on, go ahead. It's not that you're going to stop here. Sky is the limit. Just go ahead. Keep on marching. That simple encourage them more and more, and they take it forward. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session as such. And end of the day, it speaks volumes about the family, the culture, the upbringing of these people. If at all these kids are able to participate in such a session, as we have had speakers of 10 years and 11 years of age, and I was so overwhelmed with joy that day when the mom was running the slides for her. It all comes with a family background. If at all you are able to present it today in a very dignified way, in a very diplomatic way, on this platform, that speaks volumes about the family, about the culture, about the country you belong to, about the way you carry yourself. That's what I tell all my students so far till now. Celebrate every single moment of your life so as to evolve a self, community, and terrain. First, the change should come in you, and you will take it forward to the community such that you are taking it forward to the globe as such. So, you should enjoy whatever you're doing. And this will come only with the involvement of the family culture, and the family values that we have imbibed in us. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So, definitely, it is definitely a great session. And on a very great day, today's, as I told you, like it's a Holika day, and we are going to have the pyre of um, devastation of evil over good. It's like a victory of good over evil. So I said we will take up all our good thoughts with us before we end our session, and such that we give the mantle to the young people to take it forward. I really bank on this younger generation. They should be able to take it forward. And definitely, Ma'am Tanuja is not too very old, as Kripashni was mentioning. Definitely, this, Ma'am, you are not a mentor. You are a role model for your students to follow you. The way you are committed, the way you are here present exactly on time, all these things your students are noticing, and they will be following you. And this does not come with one single person or one single event or one single, it has to be consistent as such. And we should be like role models. Uh, Without telling, it is quite understood that we are here as a facilitator, we are here as an example to take forward this younger generation. Hope everybody will agree with me. On that note, we should sign off for today. And though I thought I will sum it up for all the three sessions, it's too much. We're already 15 minutes ahead of the session time. So we will do it definitely. So next week, again, as Ma'am was mentioning, Dr. Tanuja was mentioning, it's a very, 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 very important session because it's a summary of all the weeks. It's about 2030 agenda. That is Sustainable Goals, Sustainable Development 2030 Agenda with Addis Ababa Action. So what all we discuss as relating as education 360, women empowerment, youth empowerment, innovation, digital technology, taking care of the resources, conservation and sustainable use of the resources, R3 with the R3 dialogue, and also about finance for financial literacy, financial sustainable finance, green finance, and circle finance. And today talking about the eco finance, all these things contribute to the Addis Ababa actions. So it's all going to come up together. So we will have more number of speakers, I think, because everybody would like to contribute more and more to it, such that uh, only the topics I've told, definitely the pointers will come through the action. So until we see you again, it's we signing off. Adieu until we meet again for next Sunday. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See
Thank
you
you
again.
so
Thank you.
much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.